Welcome back to the MMA Business Hour, everyone. We have some breaking news. Francis Ngannou, the former UFC heavyweight champion, finally signed. And he signed with PFL. I am so excited for Francis Ngannou because apparently he got the biggest deal in MMA history. We'll see. The official numbers have not been disclosed yet, but now he becomes an official partner with PFL. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch the exclusive clip from PFL and we're going to discuss Francis Ngannou, maybe his potential opponents, and what's next for him.
No one has ever been in his position. Heavyweight champ walks away.
We don't know the end result. He could sign tomorrow for the most money anybody's ever signed for in fighting history.
Francis Ngannou is the lineal heavyweight champion of the world.
It's official, everyone. Francis Ngannou has signed with the PFL. Who is he going to fight next? We don't know. It says he's most likely not going to fight until 2024. But I think that intro clip says it exactly what Francis Ngannou wanted from the UFC all this time was respect. And he is probably the greatest heavyweight UFC fighter of all time. He absolutely dismantled Stipe Miocic, even though Stipe is a little later in his career. I don't know who beats Francis. I mean, he has that one killer punch that puts people on their ass and shuts their lights off. I can't tell you guys how excited I am. He's going to be fighting in their superstar league kind of a thing. I don't think he's going to do the tournament. He's going to fight in only big fights. So let me know in the comments below what you think about this deal and if you think Francis chose the right path by signing with the PFL.
I chose the PFL out of everyone in order to change the game of MMA. For whoever feel ready, I'm the baddest mother on the planet. I'll be fighting in the pay-per-view super fight division. It has always been my goal to control my own destiny. When somebody feels respect, you get the best out of the best.
If you don't love that promo, you just absolutely don't love MMA. I am so excited for this deal. Francis, he is electric. He is must-see TV. We haven't had a heavyweight do this to people in the UFC, I don't think, really ever. We had great UFC heavyweights, but to have that one-punch power where he dismantles all of his opponents, and you have to realize that Francis hasn't been doing this his whole life. MMA is still relatively new to him, and to see his progress is absolutely remarkable. Dana White and the UFC have to be worried about organizations like PFL now, because if they're able to take away Francis Ngannou, they might be able to take another superstar, and then the next superstar, and then we start having guys leave the UFC and go to PFL for super fights for big money. So Dana White is probably not very happy about this deal, but I think Dana White bet on the brand. He thinks the UFC brand is far superior than any fighter in the UFC, and that includes Francis Ngannou, Conor McGregor, Israel Adesanya. But in my opinion, you need superstars to get the casual fan to buy the pay-per-views. I mean, us diehards, we're always going to buy the pay-per-views, but to get the casuals, to get those 700, 800, and 900,000 pay-per-view buys, you need superstars, because without it, it's going to be UFC 289, where I guarantee will not do over 400,000 pay-per-view buys.
The reason why I signed with the PFL is because of they are willing to develop the sport. Most importantly, in Africa, I stand for my people, for my community, I fight for them, and to get something like this to bring back home is like a huge accomplishment.
I am so excited for MMA to move to the continent of Africa. There's probably so much untapped potential and talent there, and Francis said it, he fights for his people, so he's able to bring a whole new organization to that continent that he loves, and he will represent his people greatly. I know he will, and this is just so exciting. MMA is becoming more and more global as time goes by, and guys like Francis, holding out from their UFC deal to get something like this that the PFL wants to give him, partnership in the African promotion is awesome. I'm so happy for Francis. And here we go. He also did the Global Athlete Advisory Board. Let's hear a little bit more about that.
PFL, now that I'm in the position to speak, to fight for those who doesn't have a voice, because at the end of the day, it's fighter first. Fighter is the one doing the sport. At the end of every accomplishment, there's another challenge. That's how you build your own legacy.
That is a wrap on the little promo PFL just cut for the signing of former UFC heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou. Let me know in the comments below if you guys are as excited as I am about this deal. Let me know your thoughts about it. I think the PFL is going to have to go out of their organization and bring in another potential free agent to fight Francis Ngannou. We need a big name fight so we can welcome Francis Ngannou into the PFL and the new face of their organization. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and we'll catch you guys on the next fight.